Hi fellow traders, I'm making this video to give you an update on pound. We are in sell position as per what we had explained in last video of pound, but the sell position was not in GBP USD. Instead of USD, we had taken Japanese yen as the counter currency, and we had the sell position in GBP JPY, which we still have. Now we will look at GBP USD as well as GBP JPY to understand what actually is going on in the market and how to further trade the GBP USD. Also, I will explain the exit strategy for current sell position of GBP JPY. So, if you look at the recent development from this point, market was in upward movement, and this was slower movement to the upside, and I was considering this whole movement to the upside just as a retracement, and still this bigger A, B, C, D 61.8% extension was supposed to be completed. But now this A, B, C, D to this 2907 area is off the table, and I'll explain why it is off the table, and then I'll explain further trading strategy. So and how to close the sell position of GBP JPY. So first of all, let's have a recap on what happened recently. So market was going to the upside, negative CPI came down, then going to the upside, positive US retail sales came down to this point, again going to the upside on some Brexit news, made a high, and this A, B, C, D was completed. All right. Again, UK retail sales came negative, market started falling down, and this could have been the continuation of this bigger ABCD, and market could have reached this area, but this movement also stopped. Then there was movement to the upside, which was caused further by some positive data released yesterday about, and I think that was about uh, unemployment claims in the UK. So let me just check it. Yes, today is 22nd, yesterday was 21st. Yeah, that was about average earning index as well as unemployment claims. So uh, pound has done better. I mean, both of the data had come better than forecast, so that had given this upward movement, and then market started going down with this bearish candle in the US session, and that could have still been the hope for acceleration to the downside and continuation and completion of this area. But again, market started going sideways, and today we got another positive data, that is CBI industrial expectation, and market again went up. So basically we have a choppy and sloppy kind of price action, and market I mean GBP is reacting to everything, and it is kind of overreacting. So there are upside move, there are downside moves, so longer term trend uh, cannot be taking place in such kind of environment, which is why we should now forget about this A, B, C to the downside, or any extended downtrend or any extended uptrend. I believe that GBP USD will be doing something like it had been doing for 1.5 months in this period. You see this period? That was the period between mid of October till uh, till starting of December. It was a period of almost 1.5 months, and there was no upper border. Market had made lower high, then slightly higher high, lower low, then slightly higher low. So even if you like to draw a channel or draw a trend line, like here joining the upper uh, edge of the swing or lower edge of the swing, it is not possible. But this was this was a kind of up and down, both kind of action, and market was moving in a very tight range. And I believe GBP USD is going to do something like that here also, until we get some concrete news about Brexit. So it will be like slowing down and will be moving in a tight range. So what to do and how to uh, exit our sell position first. So before I discuss about trading idea, let's talk about the sell position which we have on GBP JPY, and what else we see on GBP JPY will help us to exit our sell position. So I see an ascending triangle on this GBP JPY 4-hour time frame, and if this triangle will be broken to the downside, it will help us to exit our sell position without any loss, because we have sell position at 143.25. There was another at 143.62 which had been already exited at the break-even point. So now we have only one sell position out of two split sell positions. So maybe we can go back to 143.25 and we will get a chance to exit without any loss, because now market is not very far, it's 144.47, so it's just a 120 pips, and 120 pips is not a big deal for GBP JPY, because GBP can move like 60 pips in one hour candle. So first of all, let me draw the triangle which I'm talking about. This is the ascending triangle. You can see market has been making higher lows, low, higher low, then this higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and higher low. And then we can draw a flat horizontal line here, which will give us a shape of triangle. Alright, so this is the kind of ascending triangle we have now, and we'll have to wait for breakout to the downside. So this triangle has not been drawn properly, rather we should take this rising trend line into consideration. If this rising trend line will be broken to the downside, then there will be chance that market will further move to the downside, and we will get our position, we will get 142 or 142.25, and we can exit with slight a little profit, or maybe without loss. So we will not try to make any profit, rather we will try to exit without any loss. I did not exit the sell position because if this triangle will be broken to the downside, we will have an opportunity of nothing but sell again. So rather than closing the position now and selling again, I am now waiting for the breakout of this triangle. But if this triangle will be broken to the upside, now this is at the border, previous 4-hour candle has closed around this previous top and this previous top, so this has still not been broken, to the upside. Yesterday we had seen that market had started moving to the downside in New York session, ever since beginning of New York session, after this upward movement caused by some positive data. So similar kind of behavior can be expected today. It can come down and it may break the break this triangle to the downside. So we'll have to wait for closing of this current candle, and now we have uh, how many hours remaining? This is the, I think we have 4 hours remaining. 12. Now candle just have started 5 minutes ago. So this candle just have started 5 minutes ago, and this is the beginning of the new 4-hour candle, and we have 4 hours to watch. I'm risking a little more on my sell position to wait for this upward breakout. If this 4-hour candle is going to be bullish, then definitely it is already at the upper border of this ascending triangle. Alright, so if this will close as a bullish candle, then definitely we will have to exit the sell position, but we will not enter any buy position. We'll take loss in the sell position, but will not enter any buy position. Let me explain you why, and let me explain you what will be our upcoming trading plan in the GBP JPY. So this is the story of triangle. Now let me delete this triangle, and let me show you something which will give us idea about how to trade pound in upcoming days. So as I said that the pound can be moving in a range, and but we still do not have any upper trend line or lower trend line. We cannot draw any channel neither on 4 hour nor on daily time frame. Then how can we determine the range of pound if it will be moving just like it had been moving between mid of October and beginning of December? What I have shown you on the daily time frame on GBP USD, this one, GBP USD daily time frame, this kind of movement. So we can understand this if we go back to 4 hour time frame. We do not have any uptrend line, downtrend line, certain uptrend or certain downtrend line. So we have to plot Bollinger Bands in such kind of scenario, and this Bollinger Band seems to be working very nicely. You see all this movement is in the Bollinger Band. Whenever it touches the upper border, it reverses to the downside. Whenever it touches the lower border, it's not the same situation on all the time frame. It's working kind of perfectly on only 4 hour time frame. So let's see what happens now. Market is around the upper border of this Bollinger Band. Will similar kind of story will be repeated. Last time it had broken below this lower border of the Bollinger Band, but had returned into the Bollinger Bands. So let's see what is going to happen here, because this is the upper border of the triangle on our GBP JPY 4 hour time frame chart. All right, if you, this was the upper border of the triangle. All right, and this was, I should not have deleted this trend line anyway. All right, so if it will if Bollinger Band will work, maybe market will come down, maybe it will break below this triangle, and may still return to the upside from the lower border of the Bollinger Band. That's why we should not be looking for any trend trading ideology. Rather, we should be looking for a range trading ideology. So we will exit our sell position without loss, but then we will be looking for further uh, buy entry. So these are the technical things. Now let's look at the fundamental. You saw that we have positive data yesterday and today, and before yesterday and today we had negative data about CPI and retail sales. Flash manufacturing PMI and flash services PMI are going to be released on I think on Friday. Yes, on Friday. And this flash PMIs are more are more effective. Their impact on the market is more than the final PMI. First time this flash PMI was released in November 2019, and ever since then we have seen that this flash PMIs are more effective than a final PMI. And if we look at the data, we will see that the recent revisions in the flash services PMI is positive by 1.0, and the recent revision in flash manufacturing PMI is positive by 0 positive by 0.1. So after kind of last 2-3 months, uh, first time PMI is improving, and most of the analysts are expecting further improvement in the PMI. So if PMI will again come positive on Friday, then definitely GBP USD, even after falling to the downside today, will go to the upside. So first of all, we'll have to be looking at what is going to take place between right now, between this point and until the release of flash manufacturing and services PMI on Friday. So we have almost like 48 hours until release of those PMI. More than 48 hours, less than 48 hours. That is going to be released at 4:30. Now time is 9, so it's kind of 44 hours we have, and in upcoming 44 hours will decide whether GBP USD will stay in this up and down kind of motion, will stay in the Bollinger Band, or will really set up picture for trend trading, maybe to the uptrend, if PMI will come positive, and if GBP will still remain around this area, and if this triangle will be broken to the upside. So now let's conclude everything. um, if price stays above this triangle, and then this triangle will be considered to be broken to the upside after completion of this 4-hour candle, and if price doesn't fall from here, and if PMI will come positive on Friday, then an uh, uptrend will be there on the scenario, and we will be looking for the buy entry, and we will be looking for some A, B, C and D to the upside, a longer term picture. Otherwise we will have to adapt the ideology of range trading if it falls from here, and then we will close positions, and we will be waiting for PMI. If PMI will be positive, again it will go back, touch the upper border, and it will keep moving like this, just like I said, for another maybe 1 month, 2 months, until release of some concrete news about the Brexit. So that's all about GBP. Thank you for watching.